State the experimental setup illustrated by the diagrams X and Y below and use them to answer the following questions. So we have I state the aim of the experiment being demonstrated in the diagrams X and Y. So the experiment here is an experiment. So the setup here is demonstrating an experiment to show that living organisms are found in soil. So II says, what's the major difference between setup X and setup Y? So with setup X, which is this one, the soil in the muslin bag is fresh. But with setup Y, the soil in the muslin bag is heated. So we can see that with the X, the organisms or there are living organisms present in the muslin bag with the X. But with the Y, we can see that the living organisms in the muslin bag are dead. II says, what observation is made about the lime water at the end of the experiment? Now, for setup X, the lime water will be cloudy, but with the setup Y, the lime water will remain clear. Let's give reasons for your answer. And the reason is, which is Ivan. Reasons for my answer is that, so for the X, the reason why the lime water will be cloudy is because living organisms are alive. So they will exhale carbon dioxide so as to change the color of the lime water to cloudy. But with the setup Y, since the living organisms are dead, there's no carbon dioxide which is going to be released to turn the lime water cloudy. Then the V says identify the part labeled I and II. So I is the conical flask, II is a thread. The diagram below is an experiment performed in a biology laboratory. Study the diagram carefully and answer the question that follows. Identify II and Ivan. So I is a delivery tube and II is a test tube. Then Ivan is bubbles. II says what observation will be made after some time. So you have an arrow here saying that air breathed from the mouth. So after some time, the calcium hydroxide will become milky. II says what conclusion can be drawn from the experiment? Conclusion that can be drawn from the experiment is that carbon dioxide is present in exhaled air. The IV says give a suitable title for the experiment. So the suitable title for this experiment will be a test of carbon dioxide in exhaled air. Then the next question says write a chemical equation for the reaction between air breathed out and supposed to be lime water. So you can see the equation here, and this equation has carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide giving you the following product as calcium carbonate and water. Okay, the diagrams below are illustrations of an organ and a system in the human body. So which of them is the organ? Which of them is the system? A is the organ, B is the system. So the I is asking us identify the organ labeled A and the system to which it belongs to. So the organ A is the heart, the human mammalian heart, and it belongs to the circulatory system. The II is asking identify the system labeled B and state its function. This is the respiratory system, and its function is to deliver oxygen to the red blood cells. The oxygen is actually supplied to the red blood cells, and the oxygen from the red blood cells is delivered to the body cells. So I identify the parts labeled all of this of A. I would want to zoom in so we can look at the part in detail. So this is the human mammalian heart, and the I is the pulmonary artery. Then the II is the vena cava, which receives the oxygenated blood. Then the III is the right atrium. Take note that even though you are seeing it on your left, it's represented as the right, because when you turn it, it actually falls on the right part of your body. Then the IV is the right ventricle. Take note, the upper part of the heart is the atrium or auricle, then the lower part is the ventricle. Then vein is the left ventricle, which pumps the blood to all parts of the body because of how muscular it is. Then the vein I is the left atrium, and then the vein II is the pulmonary vein. The vein III is the aorta, which is the last channel through which blood passes to get to all parts of the body. So that's it for the human mammalian heart. Then to the respiratory system. I is the larynx. II is the trachea. III is the bronchus. Then IV is the bronchiole. Then vein, you can see that it's representing two structures. So is the ribs. And the vein I is the alveoli, where gaseous exchange actually takes place. And the vein II is the lung. Yes. Click on the image by my channel name to see more videos that I make. So this is your assignment. Go through it, answer in the comment section so other students can learn.